Welcome to Decoding the Law, the series where we break down the law and complex legal topics into digestible bite-sized chunks with me, your host Scott. In today's episode, we will be exploring the distinction between criminal and civil law. So without further ado, let's decode the law. Criminal and civil law are two distinct areas of the law with different purposes. Criminal law seeks to set and regulate what is acceptable conduct or behaviour for individuals. Those that breach these rules will then be punished for the offences they have committed against other specific individuals or society as a whole. On the other hand, civil law seeks to regulate the relationship of individuals to other individuals or businesses to individuals, providing them with rights and means of enforcing these. It should be noted that the same unlawful act may give rise to what is known as dual liability, meaning both criminal and civil liability. So for example, an individual that commits the act of theft of goods from a shop could have a claim brought against them in tort for trespass to goods, this would be civil, and under the Theft Act of 1968, which is criminal. Whether it is a criminal or civil case impacts on a variety of factors, such as where the case will be heard and who has the burden of proof. Let's now explore these differences in more detail. A criminal case is usually brought by the state, normally the Crown Prosecution Service, or CPS for short, though in exceptional cases an individual may be able to bring a private prosecution. Whereas in civil cases, it is the claimant, i.e. the person who has suffered the loss, damage or harm, that will usually bring the case. The objective in criminal cases is to punish, rehabilitate and deter the individual and others from committing offences. Punishments in criminal cases can include fines, imprisonment or a community sentence. The objective in civil cases is very different to that of criminal cases. The aim is to compensate the individual that has been harmed through damages, often seeking to put them back into the position they were in before the wrong occurred, though in some cases other options can be used by the judges, such as an injunction, i.e. ordering someone to stop doing something, or specific performance. One of the biggest differences between criminal and civil law is the standard required for proving a case. In criminal law, we start from the position that the defendant in the case is always presumed innocent until proven guilty, and the burden of proof is on the CPS to prove the case against the individual beyond reasonable doubt. In civil cases, the burden of proof is typically on the claimant and on what we call the balance of probabilities. This means that a court is satisfied an event occurred if the court considers that, on the evidence, the occurrence of the event was more likely than not. In criminal cases, the defendant will be found either guilty or innocent. If they are found guilty, then they will be sentenced, whereas if they are found not guilty, which is also known as being acquitted, this will mean that the charge against the defendant could not be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. In civil cases, the defendant will be found either liable or not liable for the action brought against them. Criminal cases will be heard in the Magistrates' Court or the Crown Court, depending on the case. When it comes to civil cases, many will actually not end up going to court, as they will be settled out of court between the parties using a method of alternative dispute resolution, or ADR for short. For those that do end up going to court, depending on the case, they will be heard in either the County Court or the High Court. Depending on the type of criminal case, the decision will be made by a magistrate, which is usually a bench of up to 3 justices of the peace, a judge, and or a jury made up of 12 people who will decide the facts with the judge advising on the points of law. Whereas in civil cases, the decision is made by a judge. Thank you for watching today's Decoding the Law episode. If you have any questions, please add them to the comments section and I will try to respond to them. Finally, if you found the episode useful, then please do like and subscribe to the channel to be notified when future episodes are released. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon in the next Decoding the Law episode.